Hey folks, welcome back to Three's In. Bobo here. So now I want to come back and tie up a couple loose ends with Johannes Holliger in this thread on our family heritage here. The certificate of baptism said he was born in the winter months of 1803. So the winter months could be November, December, or January. So how do I nail that down? Well, I go out to the cemetery and I find his marker, like this here, and I read it. And it says that he died on December 30th, 1881. He was aged 78 years and 4 days. Now this is where being a math major at Bowling Green comes out and helps. Subtract 78 from 1881, that's 1803. And 4 days from December 30th, that takes it down to December 27th, or it can fit in there, you know, given the time frame and all that. So that kind of dovetails in with what we see on his birth certificate, the 27th of the winter month of 1803. Okay, we got that down. Now, the next document that I found that was of interest to me is this here. And again, it's kind of tough to read with me just holding it up. But this is his release from military service, his discharge. He was enlisted in the military the 27th of March, 1818, when he was 15 years old. And he was discharged in 1828. Now, that's 10 years of service. I'm sure it was in the reserves. I don't remember hearing of any Swiss wars during that time. I don't know. I doubt it. Anyway, the Swiss aren't prone to get into wars. Those would be the Germans, okay? And the French. Okay. So anyway, he was in the military during that time. But what's fascinating about this document is when they make reference to his name, date of birth, occupation, where he was from, Johannes Holliger fits, 1803 fits, and he lists Landmann, Landmann, of Rhine, landman. So that can be interpreted a couple ways. One is a farmhand or a farmer, but the German word for farmer is Bauer. And I'll get into it more here in a following discussion on Johannes, but he was poor. He was a very poor man at this time, and I think he did have a love for farming, as expressed here by landman. So that kind of gives you a little bit of background of where he was as he's about ready to leave Switzerland. So I might as well go ahead and introduce this here anyway, since I mentioned he was poor. Right after he was born in 1803, when he was 3 or 4 years old, his father died. Now, his father's name was Johannes Holliger, and he died at 42. So when he died at 42, his mother, Maria Hurt, had no occupation, if you will. They became essentially wards of the church there in Rhine. That church was the Reformed Church of Rhine. And they became wards of the church. She would take in clothing to repair and did some sewing and all kinds of little things like that for the community. But they were poor. His interest in farming, he had that interest in farming, but there is no way he could acquire a farm in Switzerland. You're just too far in debt, if you will, or too far down the scale. So when the opportunity to come to America showed up, I think he jumped at it, is what I think. It was an opportunity that would get him out of poverty. So that's kind of where I'm going to take the conversation when we come back to Johannes. So with that, this is Bobo Bass Gear. Stop.